you can see those thorns on there? That's a Bradford pear. Those are some nasty thorns. So it's springtime here on our property, finally, and as usual we're trying different things. We've tried doing some grafting in the past onto different fruit trees with some successes and some failures. A lot of success with grafting pear trees, grafting Bartlett pear onto Bradford pear. We're going to do some more of that tonight. Not so much in the success rate on apple trees. We have some crab apple, and tonight we're gonna graft some apple onto some crab apple. We'll see how it goes. So earlier this spring, before anything came out of dormancy, I cut some apple tree sprigs. Got a couple different varieties. I got some pear off from a couple different trees. We put them in the refrigerator, kept them dormant, but now that things are starting to green up and our buds are starting to pop, that's the time to start grafting. So we're going to do that. We're going to have some temperatures in the 70s this week, which is awesome. And so now's a good time to do some grafting. So with that said, we have a couple different tools. Some sharp knives. We have, more importantly, some wax, and this is just toilet bowl ring wax that I've melted into a tuna can, believe it or not. It doesn't smell like tuna, but we also have some flagging tape, and I use to wrap the grafts, keep them dry, protect them. Lets me know where they are as well. So let's do it. So here we have a crabapple tree that this last year produced a lot of fruit. Very small, but I've never seen a crabapple produce that much fruit. That tells me that this thing has some moxie. The problem is that the deer love to nibble on these, and they'll rip these grafts right off. So I want to get them up high and protect them in here. So I trimmed this thing earlier in the season, and I think what I'm going to do is graft onto these two center parts right here. So I have to cut these off. That'll leave all these branches here as nurse branches, and we'll put our grafts on this one and that one. I think that's what we're going to do. That and that. I'm going to put 2 grafts on each one of these. 2 on this one, 2 on this one. So on these apples, we're going to take and slice this at an angle. Right like that. Just like that. We're going to take and pop this bark just a little bit. You want to expose that cambium layer, and then we're going to take and slide this right in like this. Just like that. We're going to spread some wax on these. We're going to cover this top with wax. Okay, we'll see how that works. So here's one that I did 2 years ago, and it's actually doing really good. This was a big tree, and I grafted all these onto it. Now last year I grafted onto this branch. This was my nurse branch, and these had done so well that I decided I could take this off. It didn't do so well. I'm not sure if I could actually, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to regraft onto this. I think this branch is pretty well done. So, I'm surprised it took so well because this was a big tree and I cut it down, left this big nurse branch on, grafted onto these two, and it did surprisingly well. This is one of the first trees I grafted 2 years ago when we got this property, so I like it. I'm thinking this year this should have some pears on it. Last year I trimmed it back so it didn't produce any fruit. I wanted these to get a lot stronger, and they're pretty darn strong right now, so I think they'll be fine. Yeah, we're gonna leave this one alone. Golly, this is prickly. I can't even get in here without getting my face all jammed up in these. Okay, so that one came pretty good. So I planted these apple trees 2 years ago, and the problem with planting apple trees is the deer love them. So I fenced them in. I think I got more money in fencing posts and the holes that I put the trees in than I got into the trees. So the problem I had this year was moles or voles got in and chewed the base of my trees. I didn't have the protective wrap on them. Bad decision on my part. So we're going to go in and look at them and see how they're doing. The trees are budding out, so hopefully they'll be able to heal themselves. I thought about taking, if things didn't work out, I would graft from the rootstock up to the tree, but they seem to be budding out, so I think we'll be good. I put this wrap on there after the fact. We had maybe 18 inches of snow, and I came down here to check these trees and I saw some mold tunnels, and I went in and checked these, and you can see what they did. They're not quite girdled. There's some bark left, so I think we'll be fine. I just got to make sure I keep them protected. All of them got girdled to some degree, some worse than others. Hopefully they make it, because boy, I got time and money invested in these trees, but that's the problem. That's why I like to graft, because I can get the grafts up higher. I can use some of these established trees that are on this property to maybe start growing some fruit for the deer to eat. I'd rather they got big before the deer ate them, but that's part of the process. So hopefully these trees will be fine. So as I've mentioned before, this is an old vineyard. This whole hillside was all vineyard, and when I can, I collect the old grape posts, take them down to the tent, and use them to create our fence. So we got one right here. Came out pretty easy. Oh, I poked my eyeball out. It's got wire on it, that's even better. That seems like a good spot for it. What's nice about the wire is I can take it and wrap it around. Holds everything in place. So every time I find one, I bring it down. We just keep adding to our fence. I think it looks good.